So, you know, in the dividing up of Richard Wilson's personal belongings, not the car or the house, nobody got those, right? But we all picked a number, threw it into a hat, you know, and each number correlated to a pile, but that we didn't know. We were unaware of which pile we were getting, right? And I ended up with Dick Wilson's Rogers Holiday Series drum kit, or most of it. It's a double bass drum kit, so someone else got the other bass drum and maybe the 18-inch floor tom, and it is cool. It's beautiful sounding drums. And what I did get is I got a bunch of, I made sure to, I don't even think they were part of the piles. I just a big bag of stuff, of notes and writings. Dick Wilson would prolifically write. It's quite fast. He goes on and on, you know, philosophizing and thinking about things.
All right.
And as well, there are all these funny little letters from his dad, like pretty heavy shit. Yeah. And so there was this that I guess he left to his wife at the time, Judy.
Yeah, I can't necessarily read it. Let's see it.
Well, what you get is a charming letter. I've done the dishes, blah blah blah. It's kind of cute. And then do not feed. I guess he's referring to the cat because he's and there's a drawing of, I guess that's the cat.
Yeah, nice.
And then at the bottom there is this really neat exercise. Cool.
Just added that to the end. Well, Matt, let me write this little riff down.
Well, he did a little bit of it with me, but before I studied with Mike, I was familiar with the fact that he would make drawings on people's scripts, on their lessons, you know. And apparently he was asked if he would draw for the New Yorker.
Oh, cool.
And it was like, I'm moving to no, but apparently, so it was interesting that way.
There's a character, no doubt.
Yeah, so I thought I'd lay that on you. Good term. So, and yesterday I taught a student. It's only his third lesson, and a talented guy who's done a lot of playing out in the world.
Yeah, it was what? Is that the one that showed the video?
Showed the video.
Yeah, it's good.
And so there's Dick Wilson talking about the throw, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that might be going on is that if you watch, and Martinez paid close attention to a specific line that happens in that video with Murray teaching Louis, where he's talking, Louis is asking Murray. Louis Bellson, like one of the great drummers of all time, just like a kid. So Murray, is it okay in traditional grip? Does the thumb go to the first finger? Does the first finger go to the thumb? And Murray gets into it and describes how the first finger in traditional acts similarly to the, says it merely replaces how the middle finger in the right, palm down, works, right? Which is like, okay.
Right.
And now I thought about that in that Dick Wilson used to say, in the left, the first finger, which is the guide, energizes, and the fulcrum remains stable. In the right hand, the guide remains stable, and the middle finger, which is the fulcrum energizes. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. Now, Carlos told me, see, we're trying to put this together. We wish these guys were around. God, get out the Ouija board and ask some questions. Because Carlos told me the fulcrum is somewhere in the middle. It's like, okay, oh God, something else to confuse me. Great.
Yeah.
The fulcrum is somewhere in the middle, which I mentioned to you, right? Now, if a fulcrum is in reality inert, if you think of a teeter-totter, the fulcrum is a place of inaction. Everything else is moving. That's what gives you the mechanical advantage, right? So how can the fulcrum, if it's the middle finger, how can that be energizing? If it's true, though, that it is energizing, Martinez noticed, he said, well, then that makes sense that the fulcrum would be somewhere in the middle. Because therefore the fulcrum, once again, can be inert.
Yeah.
So, and Dick Wilson does talk about that in his Modern Drama article, that if, as you roll into half turned over, the fulcrum is somewhere in between the first finger and the middle finger. Okay, so what Murray has Louis doing is throwing. You'll notice there's a lot of throwing going on. Yeah. First he starts off, eventually it turns into just regular wrist turns, because everything is a wrist turn. And then he has Louis play doubles throwing, right? So this throwing thing is kind of important.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I've noticed, because I've been doing enough teaching, that figuring out what really helps people, and using what I went through, because the best therapist was the best patient, perhaps, and organizing my thoughts with regards to my chronology of development, right? And maybe to help some students not have to go through my confusion.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm finding helpful, and I don't think I've hipped you to it, or I have. We have talked about it, but I'm going to go back to it. But because I know I've done this with you. We've done this whole. That's not fair. Haven't done, but.
Yeah, never reiterate it. No doubt. You can never go over too many times.
I'm going, and I'll put it into a particular context that might help here. So the throw isn't just about a throw. I just thought, oh, it's a throw, and you can play really loud with it and not have to use a lot of effort. And I had ideas about that. I knew that if the throw, because you leave the beat down, would give you the upstroke that Murray talks about. You're so close to the surface, you can't help but make a note, right? So the throw, what's really important about the throw is what happens in the hand. Otherwise, it's not really a throw, not this technique's throw. Okay, so what we're looking to accomplish is an actual throw.
Yeah.
And that means certain things are happening. And one of the ways to help a student understand what is happening is, and as we go along, perhaps you'll recognize why this is so important and how it can help with your playing throughout the course of this study. What's happening is there is a tactile experience, and I know Murray taught through the brain, so there's an intellectual experience. What we're looking to do is, first of all, we know that this grip has a specific grip. It's not different. I mean, everybody's hands are probably shaped a little different, but it's not. Because people will say that. I've heard that argument. Everybody's body, and so one grip doesn't work for every hand, and maybe.
Yeah, subtleties, there's subtle differences, but in general, pretty much everyone's generally working the same way.
You know, I watch people just walk. I study the way they walk. They all walk the same, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, unless you got a limp or something. Yeah, exactly.
You can Google it. You can watch how the human body, their drawings, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, as a baseline, definitely.
Nicely put. Okay, so what the hand does, and we've talked about this. I probably should have pulled this up today, and I have Richard Wilson describing what the hand does, and coming after me with regards. I think I was playing the full drag, and Kevin, where do you feel the weight of the stick? Well, I feel it somewhere between the middle finger and the first finger. And then he goes, now, interesting, because that's what we're saying the fulcrum might be.
Right.
He wants you to feel, he said, the stick lays in the hand. And what he means, when we talk about the stick laying in the hand, it's laying in the middle finger specifically. And the first finger and thumb just come into God. Okay. And he says, until you learn, he does it two ways, right? He does this thing. So that would be perhaps a follow through when you're throwing to get rebounds, or when we're playing, the hand will open, give the chance, a chance for the middle finger to be exposed as the fulcrum, or this place in between to be exposed. But we don't resist what the body does naturally. So there's that motion where the hand opens and closes, but there's also the motion where, and he demonstrates it, where he does this. Because until you feel this, that's pretty good. See? That's the beginning of a throw, and that's why the throw is very specific with regards to this technique, because to get this to happen, we have to lead with we have to turn our wrist.
Right.
It's really quite beautiful, right? Because it simplifies everything. It's just all a wrist turn. Now, they can seem complicated to people. I've heard people say that. Boy, I'm glad I'm self-taught, because I don't, which sometimes it's better to be self-taught, unless you're learning from people that really know what you're talking about, perhaps. And so this thing, see, that looks really good. What bending or turning the wrist does is it releases the fingers. There's a reaction. That's what we want to feel. That's the release. In a throw, that's the release for a squeeze. That's not too bad. See, I know we've worked on this, but pardon me, I feel obliged to.
Yeah, so basically on like the release squeeze, your squeeze kind of starts happening when you turn in the ceiling, basically, right? You're basically going to start the pressure is going to, and then when you land is when you really either let it go or stop it with a little extra pressure, maybe. That's what I'm trying to figure out exactly where the.
Yeah, you're in a pretty good direction. It's not, that doesn't look too bad. See, I've done good up to this point. Now let's see if I can take you a little further. But see, that looks pretty good. So what we're trying to get happening is, we're cementing this knowledge in,
Right.
so that some of that confusion is obliterated. Right. So yes, the hand does open. It opens. It's going to just go up, open. It's just laying in that middle finger, and you've gone up, and you've just allowed the hand to open. But it doesn't feel like it's opening in the way that it does when we're here at the floor. Now just put your hand on the stick. This is a very useful remedial approach, I'm finding. And you're just going to roll around the stick. Yeah. Now you'll see the thumb and the first finger, even if you take your other fingers off. Now they become what might be more like a fulcrum. They're the only thing on the stick.
Mm.
It could also be the guide, since they're the only thing on the stick. Right. If you put your middle finger on and you relax it and you roll around the stick as you're doing, because we have done this before. The middle finger and thumb don't change, and the first finger and thumb don't change, but now the middle finger has to open to accommodate rolling around the stick. Okay. Now, if you put your fourth on, or the ring finger, and you roll around the stick, it has to open. And then you come back, and the middle finger and the ring finger close. Now, if you put your fifth on, just the tip of it on, and you go up, now, if you want to keep that fifth on, it's opened up, hasn't it? It's almost straight. See? And then as you come back down, the whole hand closes. You get that. Once you start to feel that, that's the beginning of an upstroke. That's the beginning of an upstroke. That's the beginning of an up motion as well, right? So we're looking to feel some of that. Now, when does the hand close? It's cool to watch the Richard Wilson video because you can see it clearly. The problem is, by watching it, just by watching it intellectually, I go to copy it, it doesn't quite work. Because I have to, there's a certain thing happening, and if you just go to, for me, if you just go to mimic it, it was still a little, it's like, wait a minute, is that what it, oh yeah, that's what happens, you see. So things you're seeing happen, but if you try to make them happen, thinking that that'll give it to you, it doesn't always work, or maybe it will for some people.
Yeah, it's tricky balancing act.
So if I point it out, maybe it would work better. You look at it and you go, oh yeah. So let's see how I'm doing here. Let's forget. So we get this, and then we get, and what you see happening, so what we get happening is, I'm going to muck this up. So, right, so everything I've described is when you see Dick Wilson do it. Now, sometimes he stops at the top, but look at the butt end, leave the palm. But if you go to mimic that, see, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting to the top, and then turning up and throwing my hand open so that I see the stick come away from the palm. That's not what's happening.
Yeah.
So, what is happening? Pardon me. So, I believe what's happening is we're getting the feeling of the release. Right? We get the release, and then so it's release, squeeze, release, squeeze. That's why that's what the throw is all about. Right. It's not about just making a throw. It's about feeling that. And so and you did this in the air really nicely. You went up like this, right? Went up, and then it goes like that. I've had you do this, right?
Yeah.
So let's really see. I don't know if you're quite, but are you really feeling it? Let's see. before I watch you, I'm looking at myself and feeling. See? See what it looks like to me? You're kind of seeing, that's why mimicking sometimes can be helpful, but it's not quite happening. You're kind of, I can see you doing some of this, and this ain't it. Sure, once we develop the technique, Murray would say, and then you cock some more, and your middle finger can add some thrust. But we don't need to add anything. See, that was another thing that confused me. Sure, that might be true, but that's not what we want to feel right now. For me, to get rid of the confusion for you. Yeah, so what we want to get, so we'll just break it down. We want to get this, or it's just hanging. Now you'll notice that my fingers opened up. And where I feel them open is, I feel them opening. But one of the places that, as opposed to years of not feeling it open, if I were to mimic years of playing without feeling this, I would hold my hand together maybe, thinking that you didn't want, whatever I was doing wasn't this. So I feel the first place it starts to open is in the joints closest to the top knuckles. First, second, third knuckles. First, second, third, we call them the third knuckle, I guess. And see, the fingers start to separate right in here and here and here. Well, sure, they separate down here too. But the first place you really feel it is right in here. Feel that? Yeah, see? Now they've actually separated. They've reacted to the wrist. So that's the release. Now the gig is that we want to do it all in one smooth motion. So then we get to here. The way I get my hand to feel the close and to feel these knuckles close back in, watch it. They're open and now they start to close. They start to close because I'm turning up to the ceiling. See, that's where you were confused. You didn't really want to turn up to the ceiling, so to mimic it, you were doing this.
Right.
Copy what it looked like as I demonstrated it. It's not this. Watch. Kind of looks right. It's not this. It's not this. This isn't it. This is me closing my hand on purpose. We're trying not to do anything. Dick likes to get as much for free as possible. So, to get it to work, we have to feel the bend, leave the arm alone, and feel the hand open, and then we actually have to cock our wrist to the ceiling. So we have one wrist turn and another wrist turn perhaps. So to get it to close, and the cocking of the wrist to the ceiling motivates the downward motion of the forearm. So we get this to this, this to this, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's what's bizarre. Just like when you go like this, you know, when you just go like this, let's do it, Mina. You know, when you go like this, and then you bring your wrist back up and the fingers closed. See, you're not doing that. I know you're not squeezing.
Yeah, that's the easy part. Yes, the turn is where we start thinking about it and stuff.
See, what you're doing there, that's what happens after you release. But you're up in the air now.
Right.
Now you actually have to feel that thing that you can feel, you were just feeling, where the fingers close and the hand closes. Now, how do we do that within the context of a squeeze and release? We release and turn to the ceiling. And it just works. And the hand closes as a foot. You really got to turn to the ceiling. And don't close your hand. You don't get to close your hand. It will close. You don't get to decide. You just make this motion. And you want to come all the way back down to where you started. See? So it's open, close, open, close, open, close, open, and it starts to close right there. Open, it starts to close as I turn to the ceiling. And by the time I get to the floor, I'm fully closed without closing. No, you're not turning up to the ceiling enough.
Yeah, that's the part it's not I'm getting now.
So but then now you're losing the first part. So I've been using the puppet on a string analogy.
It's the turn. It's the transition from that is where it's.
Okay, so let's just break it down one more time. Well, we're doing this for all those drum nerds out there who are.
Yeah. Someone's got to like this, right?
Hopefully.
Some thumbs up.
And so what we get this part, which you're really good at. That feels like the puppet on a string to me.
Right, yeah.
There's no puppet master. There is no.
I got the release down easy.
But I get why that analogy has become widely used, or the metaphor has become widely used. So we're here. We bend. As Dick says, the forward bend of the wrist, besides releasing the finger pressure, motivates the forward motion of the upward motion of the forearm. I have his words that I copied out of his famous red notebook. Okay, now we're here, hanging here, right? Just do that. Come on, turn it up. Look. There you go. There you go. Your forearm came down. It's coming down. It's like you're gonna, when there's a way in martial arts where you punch like that, don't you? That you can hit
probably, yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can just see how this is very powerful, right? I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to study. Okay, so we get this, and then we're gonna feel that thing. So you're gonna make a strike with the palm. Just maybe that would work for some students. So we're here, and we turn up, and the palm starts to come down. Right. So, and you notice when I just no, not here. I'm going to teach Kevin. I just caught myself doing it wrong. I'm busy talking to you, and I went like this, and I'm so busy thinking about, and maybe the hand would stay open. I'll give myself a break. If you're going to make a martial arts strike like this, I guess maybe you wouldn't close your hand. I don't know. So, but with this technique, we're thinking of in those terms perhaps, but the fingers would close as the palm. But you don't do it, just like you didn't do it here. You're here, and the fingers will close. They start to close. And they're closing all the way through. They're not completely closed until you get there. You got to finish your turn to the surface. Yeah. So let's see. See how the forearm and right at the very end, they catch up to each other? Right at the end. Right at the end. So they're moving. One's wrist is going that way, arm's going up, then the wrist is going up and the arm's going down, and right at the end, they catch up to each other. And you get that. And it's real relaxed. You don't have to try hard. You just have to make this motion and get the timing of that. Just don't do it. Looks looking good now. Yeah, you see? Like that. Whack. And you don't try. You're not doing anything. You just want the hand to close. You don't have to try. You don't have to try to do anything. All you want to do is make this motion, and based on the nature of the motion, we end up sending energy out to the bead. Dick would talk about torque.
Yeah.
Force via circular motion. I think that's it. All right, so that was really good. Okay. Now, so you got that. So now I got rid of some of the confusion, I'm pretty sure. Now,
yeah, it's just that's the question is letting it happen.
now So now can we do that with a stick in hand? How does that work? See, one of the tricks to get it is you can move around the stick and make sure the finger's opened up. Doesn't that feel like the beginning? Doesn't that feel like the beginning of this?
Mm.
But now the butt end won't be on the palm. Okay. So what? Just to feel, now we got the feeling of the release. The stick has stayed flat because we moved around it. And then we're just going to cock this and feel the hand close. Just like it did. Kind of like that. Relax your arm now. So it was what? Not bad. So let's take the stick out of your hand again. Okay, right. So yeah, you want to start flat. You know, you want to start as though you've fed yourself the stick. You're flat, and you haven't squeezed. You turn the wrist so that you're in a holding position without squeezing the fingers, but they're closed. So you have a grip of sorts, right? So now we can start there, nice and flat. Just relax your arm, right? And now as we go up, go on up. See, it's perfect. Don't be afraid to turn to the ceiling to get your hand to close or to feel the motion properly. Yes, and therefore the hand closes. Always don't start getting up higher and higher. It's down to here. We start here and we end here. I've got to turn more up. Turn high. There you go. Now look at your elbow. I'm going to mention it. You weren't thinking about it. It's perfect. It wasn't doing that when you had a stick in your hand a minute ago. Do it again. Yeah, just do it. Don't mimic it. No, come on, turn up. Believe in that. Believe in it. There it is. Always come all the way to the floor. Remember that forearm's going to come down, so you can come down. Yes, see the elbow goes out and in ever so slightly. And don't try to squeeze. Okay, so when you have a stick in your hand, there should be some of that evident. What we get. Open, close. See, there's the elbow. There's the elbow moving. Now you got to really turn up to the ceiling to get the full benefit of the way the hand. There you go. Really relax. Just relax. Really, it feels like I'd lose the stick if it weren't for those three fingers just gently holding the stick. It feels like it would just go. Look how loose I can be. Feels like I barely need to hold it. I get this right. I'm just like, look. I'm just so loose. You could just pointing myself in the face. You're not holding it very. You're not very. You need to be very tight. And really, kind of what manages it is right in here. Just gently. Back fingers are doing their thing, and I know that I've got a grip. But how tight do I need to be? No, you're almost coming out too much now. It wouldn't. And I would really suggest not going. I would suggest not doing it that way. And feeling your oats as you go up. No. You go up, turn to the ceiling, and let it come down. There's no mucking around, no stopping up in the air. Relax your elbow. Just go on up. More like that, but turn higher. Don't force it. Yeah, see, the beauty of this is the power comes from not forcing it, but from the timing. Comes from the, look, yeah, I'm just doing this, knowing that if I go too fast, I'll spoil everything. I just want to turn in a comfortable way and have the fingers closed, and I get this beautiful strike. Or like that. Okay, good. Oh, good. There. So it's good. Now I had you throwing I had you throwing for quarters. What are no triplets? Let's look at that again. Can we put this into practicum and really use it to benefit our playing? Don't be afraid to turn to the ceiling. Let everything hang as you go up, puff it on a string, and then turn and feel the hand close and come all the way to the floor. The turning brings the forearm down. See, it's not too bad. Hold your first finger and thumb as though you were going to go around the stick. Remember, they would be a fulcrum if you were going around the stick like that without the other fingers on. But now the other fingers are on. Now, as I do that, you can move your mind around and think about certain aspects of it, what you're doing right now, and that's where my right is more trained, so it's a little less to concern myself with. Shank. There you go. Okay, so you can think about the fulcrum as being in between the middle finger, somewhere between the middle finger, first finger, thumb. Feel right in here. Do it. Back. It's right in here. See how I can do this. We have to. Well, the thumb, the middle of the thumb runs right to that spot in between the first finger and middle finger, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this. So I got this. A little tricky because it's interfering ever so slightly. But you see, I'm focused in that spot, right? And then I feel my fingers closest to the third knuckle, the biggest knuckle. I can feel some of that opening and closing, and I'm focused on the fulcrum, and I feel my hand opening and closing. So let's see. No. Let me help. If you've had it today, here's what's changed. Now, because it's slow, according to a process, I'm assuming. So now you're going to do everything slow. I got the actor in me, This is what you'd look like if you were doing everything slow, maybe. And so, just because the click is slow, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's at 40 and we're playing to it, so that's slow. That doesn't mean I go like this, trying to get everything in place. No, I told you. I said, don't. What were the words I used? Well, I don't want you going through it as though it's some kind of art project you can study. We can get a slow speed cam. We can get us one of those cameras that can slow everything down. But that doesn't mean that we're going to slow everything down because we want to study it. Watch. I told you, watch. It just goes, See the speed of it? Goes up, down, up, up, down. See, if I was going to do just to the click, I'd go, If I was only going to do it once, the speed wouldn't change. I don't think. So certainly gets you in the right direction. See, so you're going to wait. You don't have to be moved.
I'm going through the motions too slow. You're saying it's kind of more weight and just kind of do it more almost not a flick, but more.
You got the idea that, yeah, it doesn't have, it's just the motion.
Right.
So we wait. We wait, I'll go, throw. I'm waiting, throw. See?
Right.
Throw.
Yeah.
Throw. You didn't come up. Look how high my beats are coming up. Throw. That's because I'm turning my wrist up, and my hand is opening and closing. Throw. Better. Just relax. You don't want to shove down. You just want to feel turning. You make the turn big, it'll save you from pushing your forearm down. You have to turn big. So you're open, close, open, close, open, close, open, turn higher, close. There you go. Turn open, close, open, close. Relax your arms. Just relax them a little. Close. Relax them. Close. Close. That's better. That's better. There you go. Now we're going into your favorite quarter note triplets. 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1. So the speed of the throw seems to me really at this point hasn't changed.
And
be careful what I say.
And 2 and 1
and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and see, the speed of this throw hasn't changed. I'm just starting sooner because I know that the whole thing is happening one hand to the next more quickly. But I don't throw more quickly. I just start sooner. Wait. Why is your right not at the floor? Right there, at the floor. No, it's coming up too soon. No, it's coming up too soon. I think. 1, if mine's down. And 2, it's down. Up, down. Look, it's down. It's down until after the other hand plays. You're doing this.
Yeah.
As the other hand's playing, you're going up. If we're not playing alternating.
And 1 and 2.
You got to make the whole motion. Now you've gone back to this little thing. I got to see the whole thing. I've got to see the whole thing.
And 2 and 1.
Wait.
2.
Now you're not waiting. You're not waiting flat.
And 1 and 2.
In reality, if I were to be a strict taskmaster, I'd say this is your top speed. But I'll depress you if I tell you that. So let's fix it so that this isn't your top speed.
I'll slow it down if I have to.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Beautiful. That's the mature thinker. Okay, stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, stop. Just reset. I'll fix it right now. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 2 and 1 and this is all that's happening. Look how slow this is.
Yeah.
Watch. And 1 and I wait. Flat. Then I go up again, just like when I do this. If I was doing no stick, I'd go 1 and 2 and 1. Do with no stick. 1.
1 and 2 and 1 and
turn your wrist up. Turn your wrist close. Don't do it. Just let it open. No, you got to let it open. There's plenty of time right now. It's really slow. No, you got to come up. Watch. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1. See, look, you can see the inside of my hand, kind of. See what happens?
1 and
Turn up and up so that for just a moment, you can see this area down here. While the hand is closed, you can see this.
2 and 1 and
Now you got to come back to the floor and wait here, like you're playing with a stick.
1 and
Go opening up. No, you give him 2
and
1 and 2, click.
And so it'll be a 1 and a 2 and 1 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and
1
2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and
keep playing on 1.
oh, we switched hands, right? Yeah, so
Yes, you got to keep track now.
yeah, so
Now we're playing air drums. 1 and 2 and
1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and
don't come up slower.
1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and
Your wrist at the ceiling.
I was supposed to.
Got it, 1. Okay, so see how much time there is to wait. But then when you make this motion, you got to really turn up.
Yeah,
You got to turn so the hand starts to close.
Yeah, that's always what's getting me that turn.
Okay, so now just one hand counting like you just did. You're really getting to know the Swiss, the quadrille triplet.
And 1 and 2 and 1 and
turn higher. You got it.
And 1 and
higher. You got it. That timing, just turn higher within the context of that timing.
2 and
To the ceiling.
and
To the ceiling.
and 1 and 2 and 1 and
To the ceiling.
and
There, you're getting it.
2
There.
1 and
You got it. You see?
1 and
Now you're at the floor waiting. Like a normal.
1 and 2 and 1 and 2
Turn a little higher than you think. It doesn't mean you go up higher.
and
It doesn't
1.
mean you do any more of this side of it. You need more of this side of it.
Yeah.
Got it. That's where the hand is going to close.
1 and 2 and
Look how long you're waiting there. Don't come up too soon. Okay, now the other hand of it. See if you can do it.
and 1 and 2 and 1
Sit up.
2 and 1
1
and
2 and 1 and 2. Then it starts again.
1 and 2 and 1 and 2.
Starting again.
1
Back
and
to 1.
2 and 1 and 2 and
Back to 1.
1 and
Turn up to the ceiling more. You're not turning to the ceiling. You're shocking.
and 1
There
and
you go.
1 and
Beginning, but now you're playing right.
and 2 and 1 and 2
There you go. Now put the and just wait, sir. Wait flat. Be flat, 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 flat.
2
Put the
and
hands together so you can get it.
2 and 1 and 2 and wow.
You got it. Good.
1
Stay flat. No, you came up too soon.
1 and 2 and 1
1 and
2 and 1 and 2 and 1.
stay flat. Right hand stays flat right now. Right hand. What's it doing? Right hand. Right hand. What's it doing right now?
2
And it goes up. Wait. Don't go up now. Don't go up. Keep it flat. Now you break your wrist. Now you break your wrist in the right. Now you break your wrist. Turn to the ceiling. Now you break your wrist, but turn to the ceiling in the right. Now you break your wrist. Turn to the ceiling. There you go. There you go. There you're getting it. You wait, then you break your wrist. Right at the last minute. Snappy. And turn up to the ceiling. So it's smoother. Break your wrist right at the last minute. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying, because I've kind of been practicing more doing like more like just really going through it slow, turning like that. So I see what you're saying, to keep it more
Yeah.
wait, not go through this whole whole thing, depending on speed or whatever.
When you're playing music, you're not doing that. You see, this technique is supposed to be about playing music.
Yeah, yeah.
When we're playing music, you don't go do ba da da dee 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 ba dee 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 dee.
Yeah, it's got to work on the timing.
Okay, but we're practicing, and the timing, you wait, and at the very last minute, that's when it wrist breaks. You don't start doing this while the other hand's playing. Oh, geez, I don't know. It'll kind of just do this a little or something, and then I'll do it, and I'll kind of just do this. No, it stays flat.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Every last minute, remember I told you, Dick Wilson, like the panther in the jungle. It waits, and then it does that. It doesn't go, geez, I think I'm going to make a little noise to give this antelope or the zebra a chance to split. No.
Right.
And then it makes it strike. Where that analogy comes from, okay? And the strike is relaxed. The timing, it's a very relaxed thing. So, okay, we formally got you up to quarter of trips. Can we take one more iteration? See, you're not as fast as you think, and who cares?
That's fine.
You to just feel this. It'll get fast. It really will. Okay, so we did 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1. So now we're to eighth notes.
1 and 2 and 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 1 and 1 and 2 and 1.
But you're gonna wait. See, you're coming up too soon.
Yeah.
The panther in the last minute strike.
1 and 2 and.
Doesn't mean you get tight though. You see, you just wait there. Next note, it's coming up too soon. It's gonna wait now. But you got to turn higher because you're not really giving you the full motion now. So let's see if I'm telling you something correct. I'll do it with you. Let's make sure. 1 and 2 and 1. Now. See? Now. It comes up after my other strike. It's coming up after my other strike.
Yeah.
So let's see when yours comes up. And I'm getting a big range of motion.
2, 1 and 2 and 1 and.
Stay flat. There you go. No, don't come up until
2 and 1 and 2 and 1.
Wait, I thought it came up after your left strikes. We're focused on the right. The right's not, so that the right's not going to come up until after the left strikes.
And
Now.
2 and 1 and.
Now.
And,
But make it bigger. Relax your arms. It'll work. No, don't come up. Nope, coming up too soon again. Now. Release. Squeeze. Release. There's a timing. Say it. Release. Say it. Release. No, release. Rough. That word.
Release.
Say it for both hands.
Release.
There it is.
Release.
Now say squeeze, but don't squeeze. It'll just happen. Squeeze. See, there's the timing. Release, squeeze. There's a feeling. See, it's starting to build. Now you're feeling it. Now you're starting to cook. All right. We're just going to go to eighth notes. You got it. That was good. See, it seems like, well, what really changed? Well,
Yeah, I see what you're saying though, keeping it waiting longer rather than going through this whole like drawing out the motion.
Uh-huh. Very good. Yeah, so that was, I'm happy about your success with regards to that. Now, boy, we've been going at this for quite a while.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at master studies for a moment, and just see what's happening there. Okay. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I just got to work on that timing, definitely.
But it warms the heart to see a student become successful before your eyes, right?
Well, what?
So, we're on page 7. Okay. So let's take a look at one of the. We didn't really work on upstrokes there, which is cool. Upstrokes will be much easier if you can lock that in. Timing of that motion, right? Because if you don't know when to come up, how can you get an upstroke?
Right.
So,
yeah.
See, the motion up is a note potentially. So if you're willy-nilly, arbitrary about when you're going to start to move, how will you time a note?
Right.
You see, there's a timing. If you're going to make upstrokes, see, that's when I go up, release, because I want an upstroke, release. See, the timing.
Right. That's everything, pretty much.
Right. It showed you a changer.
Yeah.
But it's not terribly obvious unless you become clear-headed about what's happening. Okay, so now we're looking at this. This is going to give you. Now I go up. I just turned. Now I go up. Turn the stick. The timing was right. Okay? So this is what we just worked on, really. With some regular wrist turns. Release. Release. See, it's already better. Release, squeeze. Back your arms. Release, squeeze. See? Release, squeeze. Now let's try one with an upstroke and test this theory.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Maybe.
Yeah. Release, squeeze. Release. Squeeze. It might be too slow. Let's see. Yeah, it's too slow for an upstroke.
Yeah.
There it is. Play number 5. That time will work. So you're gonna get release. Release is an upstroke. There's one upstroke leading into the beginning of each bar of the new bar.
Yeah.
Release. Release. There, see? The timing works. Release, release, release. Okay, see how that works? See, the timing makes the upstroke a lot easier. Release, right? Okay, it's working. So your upstrokes are working. So now let's find another one. It's starting to happen. So look at page 8.
Okay.
Okay, so there's going to be some upstrokes and downstrokes on this one. Number 7 has upstrokes and downstrokes. I guess number 6, maybe number 6 not. Okay. You'll know. Okay. And it'd be hip if you would write them in, right?
Yeah.
Little Dick Wilson arrow, starting at the note that's the upstroke, going to the downstroke.
Right, right.
Okay, and you're gonna play number 6 through 11.
Okay.
We're gonna play them to. We're in 4/4, not cut time. The metronome is just 40.
Yeah.
And we're working on these motions, the timing of this motion. Yeah, you see, it's good. This is what you just worked on. Up, see? You just have to remember to let the hand relax as you go up and then really turn to the ceiling.
Yeah.
More than you think. Exaggerate it. And you probably still won't be turning enough to the ceiling.
Yeah, that's my issue right now is getting that turn, I think.
Yep. Okay, let's take one look then at well, we're working on the where did it go? See, I have Dick Wilson's Flam. I'll use Dick's. See, here's Dick Wilson's Flam tap. Put up.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, Richard created that library that we're using.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Which might not necessarily be in chronological order, because I think whoever printed those up ultimately organized them so that all of the paradiddle strokes were in a section, right? All of the Flam strokes were, but that's not how Dick necessarily went through the strokes.
All right.
So that library may or may not be in chronological order. Okay, we have the Flam tap. I had you, what, at 54?
Yeah.
See, let's see. I want to think about this too, with what we're working on here.
This one's still a little struggle here on this one.
Yeah. See, if we played it, see, here it is on the wrist. Maybe this is what we need to do today. See, because release, squeeze, 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 release, squeeze. See? And then I'm on the wrist. I'm throwing. How about reteaching Louis? Now, in a sense, we're throwing for stuff, right? Okay. So typically, the Flam tap is. I have it not written with an accent. I believe the library doesn't have an accent on it, right? And Richard Wilson hasn't written that, but we can make a little throw. We can put a little accent on it because a Flam is typically one hand high with the other low.
Right.
Right. So and the throw will lead you right into 2 more wrist turns. So it's a throw to 2 regular wrist turns. or 54. Okay, now, this is so cool, isn't it? I think this is a properly organized lesson. And so I presented to you, and the chronological order involved with regards to specifically to this lesson, right? So you can't lose what you just got today. You can't throw it away, and this is why strokes are so cool, because suddenly I have to play a stroke, and everything you know about how to hold the six and play goes out the window.
Yeah.
Oh, the stroke is to cement the motions, to help you get your head around what's happening. And as Murray said, it makes the whole thing much easier. These motions will make these strokes easier to play if you adhere to this protocol. Okay, so we've got a throw, right? Remember the throw? Release, squeeze. You got to come up with it, puppet on a string, and then really turn to get that hand to close. Not like that. Leave the arm alone, it'll just do what it's supposed to do. Don't even need to think about it. But we got to get that throw. We got to go release, squeeze. Let's see. Release, squeeze. 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 See the big throw? And then I turn twice.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't be afraid to turn to the ceiling and really release on the way up. Release. See, you're still coming up. Okay, you're
too soon. Yeah.
It's what we've cured in the last two exercises. Actually, the last exercise, we didn't even need to talk about it. Yeah, see the right hand, watch my timing. See, release, squeeze. Well, let's see when it comes up. Now, let's see. So it's going to go up when? Just after the second tap. Release, squeeze. 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 Release, squeeze.
Yeah.
You didn't come up to the ceiling enough. So it's after the second tap. That's when you go up. Now, release. Not yet. Release. But come up higher. Release. You got the timing. Release. Wait in the right. Wait in the left. Wait. Now come up higher. Give me a big flip. Flip up to the ceiling. Go for it. It's stretchy. The whole thing will stretch to the ceiling. Here, it's coming along. It's starting to come along. Now, up to the ceiling. Release, squeeze. Release, squeeze in the right. Release, squeeze. Release, squeeze. You got it. Release, see how easy it is? In the left. Release, squeeze. See, the timing would be the same in both hands, right? The timing would be similar. Release, 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 raise, 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 Now double it. Okay, it's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah.
But you've really got this happening, played as eighth notes, as Murray first wrote it.
Right.
Right? Was the eighth note version of 16th? That's why he did that, I'm pretty sure. So stick with that for a minute. Be patient. Because today you were very successful. You developed, Dick used to talk about the downstroke. You just have to get the timing, Kevin.
Right, yeah.
He'd say that often.
Yeah, no, that's good insight, definitely.
Cool. All right. Nice job. Turning off the camera.
Yep.